What's good, y'all? Black Visionville here. It's your girl Katie, aka your sister from another mister, with another episode of Black Table Talk. With me today, I have two very special guests. We have JC Storyteller in the building and Mr.
Yeah.
Platt Plays. I don't
What
know
up?
which one of y'all want to go first, but go ahead and let the people know who you are and where they can find you, please, so they can show their support.
I kick it off. Well, I'm JC. The link to my website is on the screen. I'm an author, a grandfather, writer. Um, that's pretty much me. 24/7 supervisor. So yeah, I have a job and I have a business. I'm just one of those folks try to stay cool with everybody. That's about it.
Yeah, you can find me. It's your boy Platt Plays. You can find me Facebook, YouTube, whatever social media. Platt Plays. We just kicked off the boxing channel at Straight Jab Crew on YouTube. Uh, just a gaming content creator slash whatever you want to call it. Like I do a lot of stuff. So I'm here. What's good?
That's what's up. What's up? And where can they find y'all? Instagram, YouTube, where are y'all?
Yeah, all platforms. Platt Plays.
Yeah. JC Storyteller one on all platforms, or you can go to the website on my page to take you to everywhere that I am.
Perfect. All right, so let's get into it. Today we're gonna be talking about the comment that was left in the chat. Is it better to be in a relationship long term without being married, or is it better to be in a long term relationship and be married? So, which one of you lovely gentlemen wants to start it off with your opinion on that?
I can go. Just by experience, I've been in one like long term for about 13 years,
Mm,
and it's cool. It's like we married, you know what I'm saying? And eventually we will get there, but you know what I mean? Like I don't see where the what would be different if we do. I'm just
mm,
doing that just to do it, uh, for property and money and stuff like that. Like so we won't be, have any issues like upon one of our deaths and stuff like that. So
So you feel like it's more of a marriage would be like more of a legal thing for your relationship, like it would.
at the moment,
Yeah.
I do believe in being married, but it just hasn't happened yet for me,
Mm,
and not because neither of us, one of us, uh, don't want to. It hasn't happened yet.
hmm. Okay. Okay. And JC, what are your thoughts? Thoughts?
I think well, I'm kind of in agreements with Platypus. If you know, I think long term is is the way to go, especially these days, because the longer you, and I know this goes beyond dating, the longer you're in a relationship with someone, the more you get to understand how they are. You get
Mm,
to understand how they deal with different situations, and you get to also understand more about their mindset. Um, because in the long run, it's hard to put up a front. So, and so the longer that go on, by the time you get to the point of you want to say I do, then you pretty much already know and what you're expecting once it happened. Yeah, it's hard to, and that long term, I'm talking about like years to get to
Right.
know each other. And because in that point of time, especially if you stand together, all types of situations gonna come up. The same it would do after the I do. And the worst thing, and being as being a man, I would rather break up from a relationship than to go through a divorce and a marriage. So yeah, just I think long term is the best.
Yeah,
Now,
I've been through a divorce, and it's like I think maybe that is where I'm at with it, like learning a
mm-hmm.
lesson. You know what I mean? Like I
That's what I was
learned.
gonna ask. Like, do you feel like because you've been through a divorce already, that that kind of plays into why you're not married right now?
Yeah, because it, like I said, I've been long term for 13. I was like
Mm-hmm.
married for 2. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So I don't know if that like gave like a green light to stop being the same person that you were beforehand,
yeah,
or you know what I mean? Like that might be what's stopping me now, but you know, it's gonna come.
yeah. So I feel like I kind of feel like the same because I've been married before. I've been divorced before. So for me, it feels like I don't know, marriage is more of a like legal document. Like I feel the same way. Like especially if like you're already doing the things that you would be doing if you were married, like living together, you know, maybe you have finances together, whatever the case may be. I feel the same way. Like marriage would just be like a legal thing, but outside of like its effect on the relationship, just from experience, this is my personal opinion, I don't feel like it's beneficial because I feel like what's good, bug in the building. I feel like it's just like kind of like a ball and chain a little bit. I know that sounds so, I don't know, like, but it does for me. That's how I felt when I got married. When I was in
Yeah,
my marriage, it felt more like a ball and chain type thing. And it felt more of a like, okay, so now that we're married, this is something that I can use to get you to do what I want. Like, oh, you're my wife, so we'll do bam, you know, or you're my husband, so we'll do bam. So it's just like, because I feel like because of my past experiences with being married and divorced, I feel like marriage is more of, it can be a downfall for the relationship instead of like a positive thing. I guess depending on who you're with, if that makes sense.
That's
yeah.
that's
Go ahead, go ahead.
that's exactly it. Now, it wasn't too long ago when I thought that time waited for nobody. If you feel it,
Right.
do it. But as I guess the little older I got and the little experiences I picked up recently from here and there, and a lot of the talking points from social media, you know, it's like,
Salute,
nah.
Daryl.
If you feeling the person, just date them, be in a relationship for a while, and then once you know that it's there, then you can go ahead and pop that question. My man Daryl getting married soon this year.
Oh, nice. Congratulations, Daryl.
Hmm. Yeah, I have I don't know, when I think about it, like who do you want? I'm thinking about end game. Like you stay together forever. You're not married. Say you had 20 years and you're not married, and somebody passes. Like you're gonna have a fiasco with your belongings and like wheels and stuff like that. Who gets
Oh, for
what?
sure.
Because I'm pretty sure your spouse that you've been living with for 20 is gonna feel
It's gonna
obligated
want something.
to those things. Now being married, even the funeral home, like they're gonna go with next of kin
Mm,
rather than the spouse. So,
mm,
but once you're married, then your significant other has control of that and whatever properties you had. So, end game wise, like it would be better to be married at that point. To reduce the problems that the family's gonna have.
yeah. So with that being said, because the last time we were live, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we had um, played a video where the girl was in a long-term relationship with her boyfriend, and she proposed to him, I guess, and he declined. So the woman in the video was basically saying like, um, she shouldn't have did that, or women out, a lot of women out here, that they play that role of being the wife even though they're not the wife, and then they're wondering why they are not married to this person that they've been doing all this wifely stuff for beforehand. So what are y'all opinion as far as that goes, like being, like she said, you're playing that wife before you really become the wife. So why are you expecting like he's going to propose to you and marry you because he's already getting the benefits of marriage and y'all ain't even married?
Well, I say this, and it is just me personally. I don't really have a problem with a woman proposing. Um, I mean, it's a change of the times. Um, as far as uh, I'm trying to see how the best way to put it. Um, a person, I don't believe in a person that's going to change once you do the I do's. That's why when a lot of people are like, well, you put a ring on it, you'll get this treatment, or if you let me put a ring on it, then I start doing this. I believe that same person you're gonna get before the I do's, and this is just my opinion, you're gonna get that same person, that same
Mm,
persona, that same attitude, that same, whether she cook or not, whether she cleans or not, whether she
right.
Cooking
wash
is a
her
big
clothes or
one.
not. Yeah, you know,
Elaborate on that. What do you mean by that, Platt?
Well, the cooking part,
Yeah.
man. If she can't get my steak right, man, it's a no go. Like, you feel what I'm
so
saying?
so
Like,
you're
come on,
saying that
man.
saying is true that the quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. That's a
But
true
I
statement.
believe, I believe it's there. I believe that is. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just like right now, I'm the I'm the worker of the family.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When I come home and it smothered pork chop, rice and gravy, green on the stove. Come on, man. That's
yeah, that sounds
like
good.
I'm smelling food right now. She cooking something right now. I can't wait to get off this podcast to go eat. But I'm just
Okay,
saying,
I
man,
know
that
that's
right
right.
there,
Let me see if
like
I can smell it.
you feel me? Like it's important. Like
Salute
I can cook
Michelle.
too, but I do share the load. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
it's I
not that
cook
strict,
too.
but I feel it.
Yeah. I cook
You said what?
I said I
I
ain't that strict, but I definitely feel it.
yeah. I do some of it too. Like I might fry fish tomorrow, just she did doing what she doing today. I'm gonna do something tomorrow. And sometimes she does, multiple days in a row, but you know, I'm going to work and coming home. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
it's just good to have that. Like, sometimes she texts me like, "What you want to eat?" I tell her, get home and it's there. You know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
I also on the flip side, like what she expects of me, like she don't touch the trash can. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like the yard is my responsibility. And then like she like wash clothes and stuff, but I do that too. Like I dip my hand in some of the stuff she does also. So,
yeah.
but on the part, just to jump to the part with the woman proposing, I kind of have an issue with it. Not like don't do it type issue, but
Hmm.
I'm thinking like if you saying like y'all living good and everything's going good and you just waiting to get married. I mean, if everything's already going good, like just keep waiting. Like you're already living
Yeah.
a decent life and you don't have any issues. Just hold your horses. Like it's coming, but just don't force it. Because anytime you
Right.
force anything, you're gonna have a problem.
Oh, absolutely 100%. And Bud said marriage is good when it's a partnership, but you have to have honesty from both people. And he said sharing duties is part of being in a relationship slash marriage. And Daryl said, not true because I'm a chef. I don't need you to cook, but if you do, it's a plus.
Right. It's not a necessity. Like, well, nah, yeah, she got to be able to do something. And cooking is one of those things for me. It's to each his own,
Yeah,
but like I can cook too, but like, yeah, you got to
she got to be
throw
able to
down
do it.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
for
with you.
sure. And
On
then
topic.
Michelle said, go ahead, JC.
No, go ahead and read her. I said
Oh
afterwards.
no, I was saying she was saying that I think long term leads to marriage, and I kind of agree with that. But in the same breath, like I said, it really all depends. Like for me personally, I would be feeling like that. Like, well, what outside of legally, like what is marriage gonna do for our relationship? Like JC said, if you are this person before we get married, I'm pretty sure this isn't gonna change just because you put a ring on it or we share the same last name.
All right. Things may change for a second because
Right.
it came out of her mouth, but the person always can revert back to who they truly are. And going back to something that Platt says as far as the roles, I saw a video maybe a couple of weeks ago. This lady, she did a video of her outside. I guess she had the lawnmower in her hand, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm outside cutting the grass." And then she panned over to her husband that was cutting the grass too. She said, "Yes, I'm outside cutting grass with my husband." As far as gender roles, I think that long as the two of you agree on what you're going to do and what the other person going to do or what y'all going to share, it shouldn't matter what other people think. I mean, because in all honesty, and only people that is required to make each other happy is you two. Whatever other
Right,
people
right.
outside think. So
That's
you can't.
facts.
And I'm just gonna give an example. The husband can't be sick and the grass need cutting, and he may have said, "Well, I'm gonna get my friend Bug to come cut the grass." She'd be like, "No, no, no. I need to exercise. Let me go out here. I cut the grass. You just chill out and get well." She out there cutting the grass. People see that. People are already judgmental already. So it's like that's why when I see a guy sitting in the car and this woman pumping gas, I used to be like that. I don't judge no more because you don't know what a
The
guy got
situation,
going on.
right?
I had a situation where I was coming from the doctor and my girlfriend was, and I was staying with her at the time, and I had a gout flare, so I couldn't walk. So she had to get out and pump
Mm,
the gas. Now, I felt some type of way because the gas station was packed and my big ass sitting in the passenger seat while she out there pumping gas. But I learned to not judge those things because you never know um, what the situation is behind a lot of stuff.
right. And Daryl said there's a difference between a relationship and a partnership. People walk away from relationships all the time, but partnerships require the same kind of work to be productive, which is a very true statement. I do agree with that. Um, I know for me, when I got married, my goal was never to get a divorce. It was always to be married no matter what. So when I did decide to get divorced and make that move, for me, that wasn't something that I took lightly. We were married for almost 18 years. So it was definitely something that, like I said, for me, was not something I took lightly. And I got a lot of shit for getting divorced because I made that promise before God to be married, and got divorced anyway. So, what are y'all's thoughts on that when it comes to being divorced?
I I say that I started this off, Platty. I
Yeah.
say this: coming up in my 20s, my best friend at the time, I knew him. I knew his wife. I was his best man at his wedding. I knew because they was all well. His wife was related to my wife at the time, and man, when I tell you, I knew for a fact because I've seen her have proof that she was just cheating on my man, just cheating on my man,
Mm,
cheating on my man, and I'm like, man, why you putting up with this, man? Come on, man, do better, do better. Um, and you know what I'm saying? He always said something to the point of, it's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm gonna leave and all that, but he never did. He stayed with her until his accident and he passed away. But the same thing that I was trying to get him to do, I went through a similar thing, and I still tried to hang in there with the marriage, and it got. Now I did get to the point with me where I was like, man, fuck this. I take care of my kids best I can outside the home. I can't deal with that. So that's the divorce thing is one of the things is that scares a lot of men from getting married because you see on
what's happening? Q Q in the
social
building.
media, social media all the time that uh, um, a woman could marry a man with a lot of money and they only together for a certain amount of time. Then the next thing you know, she bucking half his stuff and a lot of his money every month, and he's left going from his nice house to from like a five bedroom house down to like a 2 bedroom house off something he built, and she came in, and now just because she decided, and that's another thing, you know, why long I say long term. is a good thing because anybody can wake up. A woman can wake up one morning and just say, "I don't want to be here no more. I'm getting a divorce." She can catch a man cheating. He can wake up and say, "I don't want no more." And then the next thing you know, he, his assets is being divided. You know, but if you're in a long term relationship and there's no paperwork that joining you together, when you go your separate ways, unless you go to court to try to get something to say that you helped do,
Right.
pretty much you're not losing much.
Right.
Man, my when I was married,
What's up, Quee?
we were married for two years. We were together for like 5. But when I got the divorce, like I went crazy in the streets.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was a
Like you free.
yeah, it
Yes,
felt
sir.
pretty good. But I already I had 3 extra kids out of wedlock and
Mm.
like
You bucking.
yeah, I love them all, but I was racing to the finish
Hey,
line.
it happened.
But um, when we talk about the long term thing, like my mom and her boyfriend have been together for like 28 years, and they're not married, and they have
Mm.
they got some kind of understanding going on because we always ask them when y'all get married, and like they say soon, but they
Mm.
they haven't done it yet. So I mean, but they live like they're married though. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like they got something going on good, and I like it, and she cool, and he cool, and we all do stuff together. Like that's I guess seeing that may have an influence on me getting married again because I'm going on 14 years
Mm.
and I'm not married again. But I don't know. I think it's just like like y'all said, the agreement y'all have between each other because everything's going good here. Like why change it? You know what I
Right.
mean? But at the
Why
same time,
ruin it by getting
I,
married? I'm just kidding.
that's the the devil on the shoulder, but the angel is
Right.
like get married. So it's on my mind. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna happen eventually, but I'm just not
Hmm.
rushed to like either get married or else type situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the girl in the video, like it was like you know get married or else. That's what I was getting from it, and I think like if she moved on that, like she probably made a mistake because it seemed like the guy was good, but it just the what didn't happen was the marriage part yet. So
Right.
it's kind of tangled up.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like even though, there is a lot of opinions about like you shouldn't, be that husband or wife for your partner before the marriage. You should wait till marriage. I feel like low key that's important because like you could think a person, for example, y'all been together for so long and you're not, for example, living together like you would if you were married. So then y'all get married, you move in together and you realize like, dang, I don't like the way this person's living. Like, I don't like how they keep leaving their drawers by the toilet every, whatever the case may be. So it's like, I feel like that's important to take those steps as far as being married before you're married, because how else are you going to know what it's going to be like when you're married? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm down with the living situation. I mean, um, that way you could tell if. I mean, that's when it's hard for anybody to hide anything from you,
Right.
male or female, when you stand together because you're up and if you get tired of being up under somebody and you're not, let's say you're not married, but you're getting tired of being around them all the time, just living together, then that's your clue right there that it ain't for you.
Right.
Now
For
the thing
sure.
with me, we're like, what do we think about like financials? Like, are we like 50-50 on the bills, or all that stuff kind of you know runs with what we're talking about, like in the household, like with the gender roles and stuff like that. Like,
Hmm.
do I pay all the bills as a man, or uh,
Right.
you
So let's
know,
let's elaborate on that. What do y'all feel like are those gender roles? What are the roles that you feel like the husband has and the wife has, or is there any gender roles, or is it both just, hey, this is 50-50? Because in this day and age, I feel like the gender roles that we are used to really have changed now. So what
This
are
is
y'all's
mine.
thoughts on that?
Trash, grass, and discipline.
Mm,
That's that.
short and
I
sweet.
believe in my situation as a male, I think that's uh my primary. Now secondary is just helping out with her primaries. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
do whatever she's primarily doing, like my secondaries would be like that, washing clothes and cooking
Right.
dishes and cleaning the house. Like I do help with that, but my primaries are you know trash, grass, and discipline, like with
Mm.
kids and stuff like that.
And what would her role be? Do you feel like your partner's role is?
Yeah, just the stuff. I don't want to say like feminine stuff, but like
Yeah.
cleaning the house, dishes, the primary cook, stuff like that. Like just and like making sure they have school clothes and stuff, and
Mm.
keep up. Like tell me what's going on at the school, and I'll respond to that. Like I'm not really the guy that's like, did you pass or did you do that? Because I'm
Right.
always gone, but let me know, and I'm like the motivational speaker of the house too. So like I'm always
Yeah.
encouraging everybody, even her. So
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. For me, um, back in the days of good times with James Evans and Flora, where the bills was pretty simple. You had to rent a mortgage, you had
yeah,
a light bill, you had a water bill, you had a a regular telephone. I think that as far as him paying all the bills and she stay home did the cooking, I think that was great for his time. And I'm just
right,
speaking for me, but for right now, where you have computers now, you have cell phones, the salaries can't keep up with inflation,
right.
um,
Mm.
I was gonna
rent
mention that.
going up, mortgage going up, and then now the women want to work.
Mm.
So I just feel like, again, when you talk, whatever you agree, however you agree to split the bills, I think that as long as you're too happy, it shouldn't matter how nobody else saying. Somebody had made a comment about Dwayne Wade and his wife, Miss Union. I can't stand her.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Gabrielle. Yeah,
yeah, said something to the point that they split the bills 50-50 and something, and a lot of people was upset
Mm.
because that came out and upset with him, calling him, you know, he
broke,
ain't no
cheap,
good for
cheap.
that.
All that.
Yeah, cheap, broke, and
Mm.
dusty and all that. And it's like, but that's what they just now. If she was saying it as a complaint, then she should have kept that and made that
Right.
settlement with him. Um, but
And my
again,
thing is, how can that be an issue if both of them are filthy rich? They're not just rich;
Right.
they both got a lot of money.
yeah,
So who
Lots of
cares
money.
what they do with it?
yeah,
Right.
I think if both of you working, you know what I'm saying, come up with agreement. Y'all want to go 50-50. Somebody pay this, somebody pay that. It's fine. As far as the household, again, it goes back to I don't mind cooking. I don't mind doing the trash. If she don't mind doing the grass, if that want to be her thing, that's it. She may just want to
Hmm.
do it because she just want to exercise.
Yeah, that
I
has
Right.
mean,
happened here too.
who
So
who
yeah,
who am I to be like, and yeah, people gonna see
No.
it and gonna talk shit.
Yeah.
F them. The cleaning is all, you know what I'm saying? It might be something I think that a woman should do that she can't stand doing. If I
right,
love her, we get along good, and it's not an issue for me. We can compromise that.
Right.
right.
I don't have no problem with that.
And the
If
thing
she
is, like,
go
if
ahead.
I make if I make say if I make 100K a year, and she makes like 40, like I wouldn't require a 50-50 situation. In that I would say like pay the phone bills, pay the internet. I got the something like that, like whatever we come up with. But like I would take the majority of the responsibility there. But you know, if you the thing is we got to get away from just like men paying everything, because I think if both people are going out there, both parties are going out there getting money, it should be used toward the household in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I
I
know.
feel like, sorry, go ahead, JC.
I'm sorry. I just gonna say I know couples that they money go in one pot, and they got a pot for the bills, and they got
Mm,
pots for themselves, and they all of them contribute to the pot, and that's the pot that they use to pay the bills, to go on their vacations, and the other money that they keep is pretty much their pocket money for their everyday necessities. So it just all depends on what you you happy, what makes you function, and what gets you through the day. And to death do you part.
right.
I'm with it.
Yeah. And for me, I just feel like, especially now, just because of the times we live in now, like, I feel like the role should be whatever works for you and your partner. Because I feel like it's more, gender roles should be more individualized to your relationship than to just, this is the standard that society holds a husband and wife to. So if you're the husband, this is your role. If you're the wife, this is your role. Because, like, for me, for example, my mom was never married. I never saw her with a man. I was adopted. She adopted all my siblings. And so there was really like no example, like, okay, well, mom pays this, dad does this. So it was like I didn't have that. So I was raised to be very independent. So when I did get married, I was not expecting for my husband to pay the bills. I was not expecting for him to do the things for me that a typical husband is supposed to do, just because, like I said, that's not something that I saw growing up. What I saw growing up was my mom. She was there. It was her. She did everything. So that's kind of the role that I played. I really did everything because I'm like, again, I didn't have that, oh, this is what the husband should be. But nowadays, it's like, I feel like as a society, especially now with the internet, like what with the internet, and also like JC was saying, with just the simple cost of living, if you are the man in the relationship and you don't make as much as your woman does, how are you going to pay all the bills if the bills are more than what you make? You know what I mean? But you're required to do that because you're the husband. So for that, you're like, what, working three, four different jobs to pay the bills while your spouse who makes way more than you is just paying the cell phone bills and the cable. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I feel like it really depends on your own personal situation, not necessarily what society tells you, this is what a man should do, this is what a woman should do.
Yeah, and we got to remember. I don't know a woman's point of view on this, but like, there's an immense amount of pressure on a man to be a man. If that makes any sense. Like, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have like a mother and father growing up. Like, I would stay with grandmas and uncles and stuff like that. But like, when I did get in a relationship, and like when we actually lived together, like, there was like this inner feeling that I had to do everything, and whatever
Mm,
else she had was like bonus. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, it just was a, in it feeling I have that I gotta do it. I got it. I got this. She said we need this and need that. Okay, I got it. And this. Okay, I got it. Until before you know it, you run out of those. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's an immense amount of pressure to where sometimes you might, like, some things when I couldn't handle it, I was ask my brother, like, help me out with this. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't let her know because I didn't want her to know that I actually got help for
Mm,
doing certain things. So like, we got to think about that too. Like, if your guy sitting there, he's quiet and chilling, look like he's chilling. He's really not. He's thinking about the next move to make something else happen.
Hard to know what a man is going through sometimes, and we, most of us, try to hide it because some of the reasons we don't want people in our business, and two, we want the whole this this look of being strong and everything is cool and we got everything under control. When
Mm-hmm.
I can guarantee there's plenty of times that isn't the case.
Yeah.
Doing my and I was in my early 20s. I held down two jobs, got married, held down two jobs, had a kid on the way,
Mm.
and and I did it, and we maintained cars and everything, and I did it through two jobs, and you know, divorce, but that was the stuff that I did, and a lot of that stuff that I went through during that time period up all the way to my age now is the experience I use as far as what I want now. If I get anything, um, I, at this point, I'm very, I don't want to say picky, but I think I'm deserving of the kind of person I think I am to have a certain type of woman.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I feel like that's absolutely 100% the case, that men are definitely put under a huge amount of pressure when it comes to being a man, being a husband, being a father. And I feel like that can be said even more for our black men. And I don't feel like that is something that we as a community, as far as women go, have that understanding to the point where we're being understanding, if that makes sense. So I feel like that's definitely something that needs to be taken into consideration when you are with your partner, whether you're going to stay just long term partners or getting married, because that is something that I learned from being married. Because I feel like there's a lesson in everything, and being married and being divorced, there was things that I learned about myself that as a woman that I could have done better. And that was one of the things, understanding how much pressure that this black man that I was married to was under every single day when it came to being a husband, when it came to being a father. So that is something that I definitely learned from and took with me from that, was having that understanding that this man is human. This man has feelings. This man has emotion. This man deserves to be loved. And I feel like I said, I don't feel like as a community that that's something that we grasp 100%. And I feel like that's something that contributes to a lot of failed relationship, because the bigger picture becomes more of that role you're supposed to play, or how much money you do have, or so much materialistic things that you just become just that. Like you're just the man. You do this, and that's it. Like you're not allowed to cry. You're not allowed to say, hey, I need a break. You're not allowed to say, I saw it was a news anchor. He was talking about maternity leave and how that is geared so much towards the woman. But he was saying, like, I'm losing sleep too. I'm sleeping in that same bed. I'm getting up with this same baby that my wife is getting maternity leave for, but I'm still required to get up and go to work because
Right.
men don't have maternity leave. So, like I said, I just feel like that's a really good point, that we don't understand and take into consideration the amount of pressure that men in our society are under when it comes to playing that role as a partner, as a husband, as a father, and especially in our black communities.
Now they finally in Texas we got maternity leave now, so
Mm,
it's a good thing for us down here.
yeah.
But I'm not having no more kids, so it don't even affect me. You know?
Yeah, like a little too late, but that is
Yeah.
good for the next.
No way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the things you said, Black, us men, we have to be strong because the moment we show vulnerability, we're picked on and we're a joke. And I give an example. I shared a video with my homie Bug about a dude that he went on a date and his date didn't show up and he had flowers and everything. And I could send you the video too later, Black, Black, if y'all want to
Okay.
see it.
Yeah.
And he went, it's something I wouldn't do. Hell no. But he went on video. I guess he went live and he
Hmm.
cried out to himself, what was he doing wrong?
I
Why
think I
why
saw
is he
that.
being treated like that? And man, he is, and that video been out 2 days, and he is every every um platform is going in on him, and it's like, you know, you can't do it. You can't do it.
Right.
You can't do it. And you what you have to do, like me, if there's something you want to get off your chest as a man, social media is not the place to do it.
Mm,
Even some, and I've learned, even some of your closest friends is not the place to do it. I
mm,
have a friend that if I have an issue, and all this I learned recently. All this I learned recently. I got a homeboy that I go to. Hey, if I have an issue, I be, hey man, let's go have a beer. We need to holler. And look, we'll talk. We'll give his perspective, and we'll talk about it. And then, you know what I'm saying, I go to sleep on it the next day. And a lot of times, I'm good. Then I know what my next move going to be. But as a man, you can't show weakness, even again to your sometimes your lady, sometimes your friends. You just can't.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind you, man. So with me being, I'm just asking this. With me being in the relationship like 13 years, not married. Like, is that something like general how life is now? Is that the general thing happening in the world right now? Is like more relationships without marriage, or like our marriage rates down since the 60s or something like that? Like, because something caused this to be the topic today. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
I don't I'm not I can't speak factually, but just from what I like see personally, I feel like that's the new normal now is not being married. And I feel like that becomes mainly like if you look at our chat, there's a lot of people in here that are saying the same thing. Like, I was married, I'm divorced now, and I'm with somebody else and I'm happier, but they're not married now. So I feel like
right.
that too is coming from being mainly like being married and just having that experience of being married and being like, I don't know if I want to do that again, because that's how I feel. And I have that understanding of, it really is who you get married to is going to determine whether you have a successful marriage or not, how much you're willing to work to make that work. But at the same time, like I said, for me, getting married, it was not something that, for one, was a mutual decision. He did not want to get married. He made that clear. I met him when I was 15 going on 16, and he had just turned 17. And I believe we were together for 10 years before we finally decided to get married. But that was after like a lot of outside influence, like, hey, y'all been together for a long time and you guys need to be married, and oh,
Right.
you're sinning in the eyes of the Lord
Stop
because you're not
shacking.
married. Yeah, like, stop just making us feel like that was something that we had to do. And just being that, oh, I have the man, I have the kids. What's up, teaching the building? I need to be married.
What up,
Everybody
teach?
else is married. All my friends are married. I need to get married too. This is the thing to do. So I feel like that played into that a lot. But, like I said, time went on, you learn lessons. And for me, I just felt like marriage was more of a ball and chain for me, a downfall for me, than a benefit to me. And now I'm looking at it like, again, like, what is the benefit of getting married outside of legally? Like, what is that gonna do for me? Like, it's gonna make you care about me more all of a sudden because I'm your wife now? Am I gonna get some fucking trophy or medal because I made it? Like, this is the highest you go? Like, what is outside of that? I just feel like for me, like I said, because of personal experience, is just something to hang over my head when you want me to do what I'm not doing and say, well, hey, you're my wife, so you have to, or, that's how I take it. So I don't know. That's my opinion on that. I feel like a lot of us aren't, but it just comes from personal experience because of what we've been through in the past.
I think.
Go
Oh,
ahead,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I
Well,
think.
I was gonna say, in black situation. Like she said, they met at like 15, 16, and then they was together for 10 years and got married. And she didn't have time to breathe, huh? Like she didn't, like you didn't experience nothing going out there in the world. You just that one guy, and y'all went all the way
Hmm.
for years. So
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'm just gonna say like maybe the divorce led to, and y'all were together forever and never experienced anything else. Could that have been a, a issue, or maybe that like contributed to the divorce?
Yeah, I feel like it was that, and the fact that neither one of us were knew anything about being married. I feel like we got together really young, and we didn't have that, I guess, experience that and then it just, the foundation wasn't there. Like our foundation was built on like puppy love, teenage, hormones, if that makes sense. But so for our foundation didn't start off good, I felt like. So it was like, I don't know, I felt like there was a lot of resentment on both ends that we stayed together for so long and we ended up getting married, even though maybe we weren't happy, but just like felt that pressure, or that like, well, you're all I know. So if I leave you or be with somebody else, like I don't know like how I'm gonna feel. Like for me, what it felt like leaving my marriage was like being a child growing into an adult and leaving home for the first time. Like it was completely unfamiliar territory to me. I didn't know where to go, right or left. I just felt like, okay, what now? Like now I'm on my own is kind of how I felt. So I felt like a lot of that contributed to our divorce, was
Did
just
you
like that.
did you
Like we
go
didn't know
crazy like I
anybody.
did?
You said what?
Did you go crazy like I did? I'm
No,
being
I
messy.
didn't go crazy. No, I just, it really made me feel like I just didn't want to be in another relationship. Like I felt so just devastated and hurt and used and abused that I was just like, I was kind of getting into that mindset of like the she man woman hater men hater club, and I was like, I
Yeah,
felt myself getting to that point, and I'm like, I don't want to be that
I'm
bitter
glad you did.
woman
I'm
that's
glad you
like,
did.
oh, because this is the person that I chose to shack up with and it didn't work out. Now he's the definition of all men, and all men are like him, so they suck, and just fuck y'all, don't talk to me. Like I didn't want to be like that, and I felt myself being like that. So I
no
had to,
rebound or nothing.
no, I
Come on, Black. You gotta let us
I
know
had
something,
to
man.
step
Nah, I'm
back
playing
and
with
take some time to really understand why that relationship didn't work, and what I looked at it as, what could I have done better, instead of putting it all on him. Because at first I did. I was just like, well, our relationship failed because of him. He was the problem,
you.
but like I said, when I really sat back and looked in the mirror and did some soul searching and said, well, what could I have done differently, And I was like, damn, I could have did a whole lot differently, If I would have done shit differently, we wouldn't have been married in the first place. I don't even feel like we should have been in a relationship in the first place, But that was
Right.
things that I learned. So after I got to that point of taking that self accountability, it really helped me to be able to move on and get into a relationship where I feel that is a healthy relationship for me. So I am currently in another relationship right now, and it's so much better than where I was before. But like I said, that came after I took that accountability. I stopped blaming him and stopped acting like it was all his fault and he was this horrible man, and really looked in the mirror and was like I said, what do I need to work on? What can I do differently? And that was one of the main things for me, was understanding that this black man matters, that he has feelings, that he's human, that he has emotions, that it's not just all about me. And that was something that was a hard pill to swallow, because for a long time I did feel like it was all about me, So that was something that I had to do.
Yeah. The thing I appreciate about you, and one thing I can say about accountability, is it could take you a long way. You people continue to fail in relationships over and over again because they don't take accountability on their part,
Hmm.
take accountability to learn from what part they, did as far as or their faults in the past thing. And one of the things, like Bug said, social media has taken accountability away from a lot of folks. And I'm not talking
Mm.
about just females, I'm talking about males too. What's up, Moody? And you know, social media has either exposed a lot of shit or it has changed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, you go on there is always men versus the women, and some are not some on both sides have good points, but some you could just tell it just you know it's a lot of overboard stuff.
Like who hurt you?
Yeah. So that's my thing as far as relationships. Like one of the things I do when I meet somebody these days, I have two questions for her. I ask her, "What are your thoughts about black men?
Mm.
And are you traditional or modern day woman?"
Wow.
And the conversation goes from there because I know what I want. And if you show me something different than what you told me, I know what time it is for me. I step quick.
Mm.
I was step quicker than at bull. I was step quicker than the mother grasshopper. I
Protecting
I
that
don't I
peace.
don't I got to. I don't been through a lot and I'm 50
Hmm.
years old and I sit and look at these younger people on social media, you know, being ran through, um,
Yeah.
getting called out on their bull crap. People have put more faith. Social media is honestly is starting to become, and I'm saying the younger people becoming their parents
A
because
religion. I
everything they're
agree.
in their religion because what they're learning how to act is from social media from
Yep.
these entertainers that
TikToks.
Hmm.
always TikTok, the
Yep.
ones that's always in the something. So a lot of my friends, you barely. I mean, I go on social media, but I'm not on it like I was when I was, years. I can't do it because every time I get on there, I see something that pisses me off, and it's
Yeah.
usually something that at one point I found it very amusing. Now I look at it like this, So I pop on. I have to keep my account because as an author now, I'm signed. I need a way, an outlet to my fans and my readers and stuff. But
Hmm.
I mean, social media, you it. I can guarantee 90% of the stuff. The reason why these younger people are acting the way they're acting, guns been around forever. But you look at how it is now. Everybody want to be Big Meech. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um,
for real. They let
people
them
have
hang out
been,
the pocket now with the clip sticking out.
yeah, people.
Hmm.
Oh my God, you see it on social media. Everybody want to be it. And that's and that including relationships.
And bug comment right there is exactly my situation. First kid at 22, got
Mm.
married shortly after type thing, and we were doing good the first three, and the last two of being married, like that's when it like just stopped. It it,
Yeah.
it wasn't fun anymore. So um we separated at that point. But we just not knowing what to do, right? I was 22 years old, thinking
Hmm.
just get a job, take care of the family, but I wasn't ready at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree. I think that's another thing. Like we fail to realize as a society, like um, being in a marriage, being in a relationship, like that is a commitment that's not for the weak, should I say? And when you're dealing with people that you don't know and you're getting to know, so many people have been through so many things, especially as children. And what we don't take into consideration is that, some people who, grown up, like I said, in my situation, I didn't grow up with a dad. It was just me and my mom and my siblings. That was it. I had my uncles in my life, but that father figure was non-existent. He wasn't there. So I didn't have that example. And there's so many people out here who, like me, did not have that example of what a healthy relationship looked like, what so-called man is supposed to be or woman's supposed to be, or even growing up in the midst of toxicity. So that's all they know. And people just assume because you go through these, you know, traumatic incidents as a kid that once you become an adult, them things just poof and disappear. And it doesn't. You definitely carry that into adulthood, especially if it's something that you haven't learned how to deal with. And then you go out into the world and you start trying to get to know somebody and your relationship is falling apart, or you have be in numerous relationships and numerous marriages and can't figure out why the shit's not working out. And it's like, you know, again, going back to that accountability, not understanding like what's going on with me personally to to the point where I'm not being successful in a relationship.
Yeah. Take as long as you need is to get to know somebody. And look, I know marriage can sometimes be the end goal, but for me, it don't have to be. I mean, if you're happy just being together, be together. I mean,
Right.
if you want to put a if both of you be happy, if both of you had on the ownership papers, do it. But if either way, if you're not happy, it ain't worth a damn.
Right.
Right.
If you fall out of love with somebody, either way, in relationship or marriage, it becomes nothing. It becomes more of a headache and than anything.
For me, it was like at by the end of my marriage, I was to the point where I was just so hurt and emotionally and mentally damaged by all the unnecessary bullshit I went through by being in a relationship that I clearly was not ready or mature enough to be in. Like I started that relationship at 15, and by the time I ended it, I was in my 30s. So like I said, for me, I spent half of my life with this man. And it went from I was like in love, he was all I wanted, to the point where I was just like so hurt. That hurt turned into hate. That hurt turned into um to what's the word I'm looking for? Uh Resentment. Like I really felt like I wasted my life with you. And it just, like I said, by the end of everything, I really walked away from it very angry, very hurt, very resentful, very hateful. And I just, that was the result, like I said, of being in a relationship that I should have never been in the first place. And that that's not somebody that I wanted to continue to be and carry. So I'm glad that I did get out of that relationship, you know. And I got like I said, I got a lot of shit from my family, my in-laws, and my own personal family. Like, oh well, you made a promise before God, and you broke that promise, and woo woo bev. And I'm just like, well, at the end of the day, I'd rather walk away and be happy than sit here and be miserable, because in my head, I'm like, well, I don't want to go to hell because I made a promise to stay married. So I'm going to just be miserable my whole life because I made a vow to stay married. Like, so many people do that on a daily basis. And I'm like, I didn't want to be one of those people. Life is too short to be miserable. And that's how I felt.
And
Like,
the vows are pretty much saying through any means necessary.
yeah.
So
And
it's a
I
tough one,
tried.
man.
Yeah, it is. And I tried like we tried the counseling, we tried like all the steps to try to keep us together. But like I said, we were working with a relationship that was built on a crummy foundation, that what there was no foundation. So I'm like, it kind of for me like taught me like counseling is more of the like you're in a healthy relationship and you fall out of that, so you use counseling to help you get back to that. Counseling can't help fix 18 years worth of something that should have never started in the first place. So it's like just taking that into consideration and thinking about things like that, especially when it comes to nowadays, because you're the person that has to deal with your relationship, whether it be good, bad, or in between. You and your partner are the only people, and your kids, if you have them, who are going to be affected by y'all being together, but mainly the two of you. So you have to make that decision. Like, is this something that is good for me, and if it is, what do I need to do to keep this going? If it's bad for me, what is my next steps? But sitting there and suffering and being miserable, I don't believe in doing that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate to say this part, but I'll be miserable for a little bit if sex is good.
Yeah.
oh my
Just for a
gosh,
little bit. Like sometimes I can't let go, man. She got that
how
thing
long?
going.
Okay,
But you
elaborate on
know,
that. How long is a little bit? When's the when's
I
the
mean,
okay?
that's
I'm gonna.
before the first year. The first year was I mean, my first, the first marriage. Like we were married for 2 years, so I hung on for at least, when I realized it was bad. Okay, boom, was like 1 year into the marriage, but that last year was straight fight. Like I was like, man, she do this little certain thing, I can't let go. I didn't. My thing was imagining her leaving me and doing it to somebody else. I was like, hell no, nah. Like
I feel that because I will say this: if the sex is not there, that's like a no go for me. Like,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not. It's
If
not
if
all
it's
about the sex for me, but if your sex is trash, like we can't go nowhere from there.
yeah, it was we knew we were in a bad part of the relationship, but man, we both still tied down. Like we like each other for an hour or two, and then shit, we back. You know what I'm saying, arguing and stuff. But yeah, we tied down when it's time to tie it down. I couldn't let go for a little minute. I was stuck,
So yeah, makeup
man.
sex, bro.
I'm
Makeup sex.
trying. Yeah, but it was
Bro.
like she had gorilla glue on my back. I couldn't leave, man. You know what I'm saying?
Woo,
But
woo.
but now is maturity then kicked in. Like it won't hold me. Like a bad situation I'm getting out of. Look at what he
Anthony
say.
said, "Yo, Platt boy, I seen that Gok 8,000 keep a few brothers in their
I'm trying to
situationships,
tell you, boy.
not the Gok 8,000." I heard of a walk. I never heard of a guac. A guac.
Hey, that's that sound effect thing.
Yep.
Man,
I'm
Yeah.
trying to
that's
tell
that
you.
good shit. Apparently, that's
Ooh,
that bang bang, like Bud
I'm
said.
trying to tell you, man. Macaroni and cheese.
Yes, sir. Hey, I've been, hey, phew. Make you do things and deal with things and put up with things you will never deal with. But
I'm trying
man,
to tell you.
Hey, it happens. Some people's dealing with that right now. Just let it go. Let it go. It's not worth it.
be like, she be like, I'm through with you. I don't want to see you no more. Don't call me no more. You get that thing on text. Come get this bud. Okay,
Meow.
on the way. I still ain't mess with you, but I'm on the way. Yes, sir.
I can't relate.
Meow.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Boy, look
All
like
right,
Al Alonso
gentlemen.
Jr. on the road, man. I'm trying to tell you, boy. Meow.
Have you listening to Al Green, Love and Happiness?
Yeah, yeah. In that thing, asking
Oh
her why
man.
you hitting it, why you can't do right. All
Yeah.
that. I just
Hey, I mean,
I
they
ain't mean to
say the
start
top
this.
why you do me like this?
food and sex is a weakness. Okay, Bug. For all
For
you
sure
ladies out
it
there, no, I'm just kidding. He's taking. I'm playing. I'm playing.
is.
All right,
Yeah.
gentlemen. Final thoughts. Final thoughts. Who wants to go first? Take it away.
I'll get it out the way. Basically, if it's working for you, let it keep working. Don't force anything, and don't let thoughts of what someone isn't doing, uh, you know, mess up how you feel about the situation. As long as it's going good. Now, when if something's going bad, you need to speak up, and y'all figure it out whether you're gonna stay, whether y'all gonna work on it or whatever. But as long as you're in a good situation, whether you're married or not married, don't be the one to change it. Like
Mm,
always, uh, go with what's with your happiness. If you good and you're happy, but you're not married yet, but you want to be married, just hang in there. Like I promise you, it'll come if that's what you really want. But
mm-hmm.
don't try to
Force
bend
it.
the mold that you got going at the moment.
Nice. JC.
Know your partner before you say I do. Understand what makes you happy, understand your type, understand um, the personalities that is, don't go by this damn horoscope shit.
Mm.
You know the personality that's comparable to yours.
You have to
Um,
marry me. I'm an asparagus. I'm just kidding.
yeah, man, yeah. Um, and I like again, I used to be like, well, if you love them, get it out the way. Now it's like, take your time, get to know them, and if it's meant to be, it'll happen.
Mhm.
Yeah, just take your time.
All right, I say, first off, ladies, black men deserve love too. Men deserve love too, but especially our black men. Understand men are human just like we are. They have emotions. They deserve exactly what you expect. Um, don't let outside influences influence your relationship, because at the end of the day, if you're happy, if he's happy, if she's happy, or she's, because it's 2023. So whoever you are with, just be happy. Life is too short to be comparing yourself to other people or moving the way other people are telling you, and just be kind to one another. And yeah, that's my final thoughts. Thank y'all for stopping by and sticking with us. I hope y'all had a good time. And with that,
You
hit
need
the
to bring
like,
us
hit the
back.
subscribe.
You need to bring us back on that sex topic you said. But the sex has to be good. We got it. We got it. We
Oh
Oh
gotta
yeah,
wrap.
yeah,
that's a
we
whole
gonna
show.
have to
That's a
Yeah,
whole show.
we gotta wrap
we
on
gonna have
that.
to come back with that,
Yeah,
Yes,
and
sir.
we gonna
we'll do
title
that
it the
one.
Guac 8,000.
We'll do that one
Why
at
do you
10:30,
have
so
me
we make
like
sure y'all
this?
kids sleep.
All right. Anthony and Bud, y'all got our next topic. It's the Guac 8,000.
Ooh,
Why
Yeah,
do you
Guac Guac
got me like
8,000. That's
this?
the title. That's the
yeah.
title.
Thank
Yeah.
y'all for stopping by.
Appreciate you.
I hope y'all have a great work week. And as always, be kind, stay safe, and we out.
Peace, peace.
Peace.